That's here. How you guys doing? So as you can see today we have a really different backdrop. Actually we have a house behind me. This is actually our home right here. Yep, right here. And I just want to do a quick video to show you how we do Christmas in the Garcia Rodriguez family. But before that we need to cut the grass and do some other things. So let's go. Okay, so here's the main area of our house, which is the side of the house. As you can see, people complain about decorating too early for Christmas, but we actually decorated for Thanksgiving. Okay, so this area is done. As you can see, the grass has been cut. Okay, so here are some of the decorations that I've collected throughout the years. Some of them are all rusted, but they're still good. They still work. Okay, so the first thing we're going to work on is actually putting up the icicles here on the front of the house. Okay, so for that I have my bucket of icicles and I have my bags of clips. And for this I'm actually using this stick, which extends, which is great, because that way I can actually reach all the way to the top and have to climb up there again. Okay, so the first decoration we usually put up throughout the years has been this one, which is the Grinch. And I don't know why. Maybe because there's somebody related to this this story. So okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the software and the hardware that we're going to be using to control all this fun stuff. Now, the software and hardware comes from a company called Light-o-Rama, which are awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and put a link below so you can go ahead and check them out. And there's two main components to the system. One is the Light-o-Rama system and the Light-o-Rama protocol, which we'll be using to connect the lights, the ones that do on and off and do some shimmering and some basic stuff like the general stuff that we usually see on the light displays. The second one is a protocol called DMX, which is the one that we'll be using for the color, for the computer selecting different colors on the devices themselves. Now, the Light-o-Rama is a protocol specifically for them, so you have to use their software, their hardware for this type of setup like we're using today. The DMX is not made from Light-o-Rama. It's actually an older protocol that is used, I would say, worldwide for all types of lightings and stuff like that. Now, what is Light-o-Rama is the one that controls the lights, the on and off and the flickering and all that stuff, which is the boxes that I showed you. And that connects to the computer through this, which is an interface that is proprietary to them. And basically, it's a USB connection on one side and it has its own Windows drivers. And then on the other side, it comes out as a Cat5. And the Cat5 is what connects to our controllers. And then you can daisy chain one controller to another if needed. Now, that's the one that controls the lights that go on and off and basically shimmer and does the other stuff. It doesn't do anything as color control and stuff like that. Now, there is an advanced system for a Light-o-Rama that does like stars and does trees and other stuff, but I still haven't gotten into that yet. And the second one is actually the DMX controller, which is this one. Now, this is the one that sends the DMX commands to the lights to change different colors and other goodies. And just like the other one, it's basically a USB connector on one side with some drivers. Then on the other side, we have two outputs. One is the DMX output, which you probably have seen here, which is really familiar. It looks just like a microphone cable, if you know what these microphone cables are. And this is what basically sends the DMX commands to the devices. And this is just a regular cable. And the devices, for example, here's one device. You can see it has an in and it has an out. So I could daisy chain one to another. So from the controller, it would go into here and the out will go to the next device. Now what I've done, since I've got a couple of devices all over the place, is that you can actually buy a wireless interface. And that way, I put the Wi-Fi device coming out of this one, which is the one sending out the commands from the computer, and the devices don't need to be daisy chained by a physical cable, which is really cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about one of the DMX boxes that I use for the trees and for the arch as well as the entranceway, and they're basically the same setup for all of them. For the RGB strips, which are the lines and all the other goodies, we need to have something that converts it. So this, as you can see, has the DMX in and DMX out in case there's anything else I want to plug into it. But the in comes in from a Wi-Fi connection, so I don't got a cable coming into this box, which is really cool. So this in box comes here, and then this box is actually configured with some specific addresses using the dip switches. And then coming out on the other side, we have the RGB strip connector, which is what the computer is eventually going to be sending information to this, and this is going to convert it into the RGB strip, making the RGB strip change to the color that the computer wants. Okay, so here's how this looks installed. You basically get the box on the bottom, cable coming out, and then the RGB strip coming up on the tree, wrapped around. Okay, and here I have two boxes doing exactly the same thing. In this case, I actually have one that's going to be powering the arch. And there's two of them on both sides. Here's the red actually going off right now. And then I have another one that's split in two that go along the walkway, which I'm going to take off these sticks. It looks terrible dangling like that. But okay, so here's one of my trusty rusted old trees. Now this thing has been with me, I think probably 5 or 6 years easy. And basically what I did is it already had the regular lights on them, the white ones, and I basically put another strip of blue ones, actually colored ones, with the same white wire. So they both got, you know, it's got two plugs coming out from the back. Okay, the next setting of lights is actually some spotlights, and I got a couple of these throughout the house. And these are basically these little suckers. They're regular spotlights, just that they're DMX, so they're LEDs, which means that the computer controls the color of them. So basically one light of these can produce any of the colors that the computer wants to. Okay, now you can see it's got these plastic things around them, and these are actually, I got them from Home Depot also, and these are actually paint liners that you put in for the buckets. And what I did was that I removed the stand from these things and put the screws literally through the plastic, and that's it, and basically makes my device waterproof. Okay, so I got the lights outside here, which are the ones that are using on the side of the house. Now I got two here, and the third one is actually way over there because it has to shoot on that side of the wall. Now, since I ran out of outlets of my continuous power line, I'm going to go ahead and make a add in a plug to here. And now we're going to go ahead and put the connector on this, which I got my little toolbox here. And basically these are called what they call vampire plugs, and basically they go in the line of the wire. Now these things are pretty cool because you can get them off of Amazon, and you can actually just bust this tab off of the side here, and that way you can put it right there in the middle of the line, which is what I'm going to be doing here and over there for the spotlight. And I'm just going to put some tape around this just to be safe. Okay, now remember, always practice safety when doing stuff like this. If you're not familiar with dealing with electricity, maybe it's something that you shouldn't be doing. Okay, so it looks like we got juice. Now this is going to eventually, I'll turn all this on tonight because it's nothing flashing yet, but there's still a bunch of LED lights I need to put up. Okay, the next thing we're going to set up are these reindeers, and I'm going to be putting them somewhat in a circle, because in the middle we're going to be putting on some blue sparkly lights, going to make it look like they're drinking out of some water. I got two buckets literally filled with lights to the max. Some of them are identified, like this is the water. This is what goes around the water and the water itself. Now comes the part that I'm not really a big fan of, which is putting the lights on the edge of the house. I've gone right ahead and stretched out the lights all the way around, all the way to the other side. But I do need to put something to hold them, and this is where these little suckers come in, which these are actually to hold up lights that I found up in Walmart, and these are going to be like anchors, and it's going to be helping the lights be on top so it doesn't look like it's dug into the grass. Now I do put it in a little bit. I don't put it like right on the edge because that way I prevent kids running into it and stuff like that. So we're the day before Thanksgiving and this is what we got so far. All the stuff is wired up and stuff like that. Now you can see I did put some Christmas ornaments on that tree over there, but we're going to go ahead and put the one on this tree. Okay, the next one is actually these cool things, and these are actually like they rotate, and they have 3 sets of colors: blue and white, and red and green, and I think the other one is orange and red. And basically what this is, it actually spins on the inside, and then with this it actually does a really cool effect. And this goes inside the trees, that way I don't have to decorate the tree. I just put this in the inside and it'll blast it filled with lights. And the cool thing is that since it's DMX also, you can see the DMX connectors, I can control the colors that change as well as the speed of the rotation. Okay, here it is installed. It's basically, I had to make some cuts into the tree, which is great, and then the little edges will actually stick in there, and this is pretty well holding on there. And then I got my Cat 5 and my power going down, and then finally I'm gonna just put over a bag to cover it for the rain. Okay, so this is the part where we actually match the music to the lights. Now, as I showed you, every controller has a cable coming out, and they're numbered 1 to 16. And this is where we tell the computer what each of those channels are and what we want to do with them. Now, you can, of course, create sequences with no music, and you can have just basically some lights turning on and off, which I'll sometimes use before and sometimes in between the songs, so the music isn't blasting all the time. Okay, so you can see here we got it split in 2 areas. The ones on the top are actually the ones are the controllers, which are basically on, off, and fades and stuff like that. There's not any type of color changing. Basically a regular plug that turns the stuff on and on, which is the traditional stuff. Now the bottom part here, which it says RGB, is what I showed you guys earlier, where the DMX devices have the options to change the colors. In the case of DMX, it's called, it works by what they call universes. And the universe has 15 and 12 channels, and every device that you put on that universe takes up from those channels. Now, depending the device that you buy, depending the device that you're using, the DMX device that you're using is depending how many channels you will be using from that 512. For example, in the case of a RGB light like this one, which is the front, and the fan, which is the one pointing towards the garage, I'm using 3 channels because this is where I define what RGB I want to be using. In this case, how much red, how much green, and how much blue. And the combination of those 3 colors, I can make any other one. Okay, so we have everything plugged in, and now we're actually going to play with the computer. We're going to show you where we can turn on the lights, how the computer controls it. Now, for starters, you can see there's just some of the stuff that's already on, and that is in case the show is not running or you know, something's wrong. At least some of the stuff is lit. We got the inflatables are lit all the time. Here we got the all the 16 channels that each of the controller has, and you can eventually control the lights of one. For example, here's the front of the house turning on. If you're going to show the house, I'm going to fade it on and off here with the computer, fading it on and off. And then, like I mentioned before, I got one going one way, and then the second one is the one on the side of the house. So the other side of the house, you can see how it goes up and down. And then each of the channels controls some of the lights. So there, I got now the edge of the house, and I can, you know, fade it on and off. I can turn on other channels here for you guys. So you can see as stuff goes turning on little by little. And then since I got 2 controllers, I actually got the ability, I got some on some of the controllers and one on the other. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this one off. And if I go to the second controller and do the same thing, you can see that there's different sets of lights all together. And this, all of it, I can you can always fade stuff up and down. So it's, that's what the computer does. The computer plays with this and does all the fun stuff. There are all the lights turned on, literally. Everything's lit. Oh, that's not lit for some reason. And this is where the sign goes, which is where it says to turn on the radio station. I got the white and the colored one on. Right now you can see the both of them are on. And then the same thing with the big trees over there. I got colors as well as blue, and then the computer can control what each of them has. For example, there, let me see which is the blue one. There we go. So there's the blue channel. I can basically control the blue on that tree going down, going on and off. And the same thing with the trees over there. And then I got those little icicles falling down from the trees. And then this part is actually controlled by computer as well. This, once it starts, the computer will fade stuff on and on. I'm going to show a clip of it, which I have for you guys. Then obviously you got the Grinch in the middle, for obvious reasons. That's how this is all set up. Okay, so here is how the house looks. It's all lit up. I basically have everything just going on a 30-second loop. But just wanted to, so you guys can see how it all ended up. And you can see here I got the RGB strips. And you can see it's pretty long, the red one. And I actually have a device here that extends it actually right here. So that extends the RGB strip coming from over here. Actually there's power in there and just provides additional power replicating what's here. So I'm able to go all the way over there. Here we have these fun little guys. Now you can see some of them don't actually turn on. But what I've done, I've just gone ahead and put the lights on the inside. You know, I don't throw them away. It's always used for them. I put some purple lights here. Here's the arch fully lit. And you can see how cool it looks. With two RGB strips, so you can see how it changes from one color to another. Now again, you can control any color on that RGB strip, which is really cool. I'm just having it circle between green and red, as you see here. Here are the RGB lights, which I was mentioning earlier. Alternating between green and red also. And another thing I did this year is actually these bulbs right over here, which they provide like just a random thing on the walls. I have a little FM radio here, which is what allows people to listen to the music in case you're just walking around here and you don't have to be in the car to listen to it. So I just basically have it right there in the corner. See the walls in different colors. I got blue coming off of the DMX lights, and you got red, got green. I always try to put green in the middle here with the Grinch in the back. See the arch changes colors as well. And you got the colors on the bottom as well. Coming up on the finale. Okay, so that's it guys. We've reached the end of the video. Hopefully you're still here, and just want to go ahead and say thanks for watching, and hopefully you found this video entertaining. I just want to go ahead and take this opportunity as well to say have a happy and great new year, and hopefully it brings all the stuff that you wish for, you know, health, wealth, and prosperity. Okay guys, until the next time, thanks for watching. Stay awesome. See ya. Bye.